Hey y'all, for today's video, I'm going to be doing a differential oil change on my 07 Jaguar XJ. And Jaguar says you should never have to change your diff oil, but I'm not convinced. We have 99,000 miles on the car, and like the transmission, I think people are finding that it could benefit from at least one change in its lifetime. So what I've done here, I'm trying to keep the car level. And I had this idea just to back it off the slab, put it up on the Rhino ramps, and it's almost level. It's very close. I think it'll be plenty good for the job. And I just need to make some more room underneath the back here so I can get under there. What do we have for supplies? So, it doesn't hold too much oil in the diff. Probably about 1.5, 1 3/4 of these. I've got 75W140, and I've got these squishy bags that should make it easy to put in. I've got a little pump here. We're going to do the old pump out, pump in method, and this is what we'll be pumping it into. And I'm assuming our drain plug is going to take just a 3/8 ratchet extension to take the plug off. So let's get under there and see what we got. All right, if you come under back of the car and come underneath, right here is your diff, this gray, aluminum gray cover on it, and you can see the fill plug right there. It looks to be a 3/8. I'll set the camera up here and we will get to work. All right, so that's a tight space. I think I'm gonna have to take the extension off. Counterclockwise to loosen this up. I drove the car right before this to kind of stir up the gear oil and get any sediments in suspension, because I want to pump them out with the oil. And I don't know, maybe it's a little low. Nothing came out there, but we do have some shavings on the fill plug, which I'll be sure to clean off. Put it in. There it goes. All right, so look at that fluid. That's a bit dirty. I can see some dust floating around in there. Let's pump that out. Some air bubbles, but looks like we're getting pretty much just oil out of the diff. The air bubbles are in the cylinder, I think. All I need this for is to actually get it out. I should be able to squeeze in the new stuff. Just reposition this here. I want to try and make sure it's in the bottom of the diff, really. It's hard to steer it that way. Let's try a few more pumps. Take out our end here. And then you're going to take your new stuff. I should be able to just jam that end in like that. Should be careful. Cap's still on there. Don't want that falling in there. But yeah, I should be able to jam this end in here and just squeeze. And it should just fill it up. It's a real tight squeeze, even with these squishy bottles. And I'm going to use a knife or scissors just to snip the end. And we're just going to jam that end in there and squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There should be plenty left over from these two. so I'm not worried about getting every drop of this little bottle in there. That was about 90% of it. And I'm going to grab the other bottle and do the same thing. Spilling a good bit here. All right. Overfilled by a good bit. That's because it really doesn't take that much, but we'll let the excess drip off here. And make sure you wear some clothes you don't care about, because gear oil smells bad and that smell just doesn't go away. But I'll give that a minute to drip off. While that's dripping, I will wipe down the fill plug before we reapply it. The thing I'm gonna do is just take my napkin and try and clean out inside there in the threads. Let's get that started there. And then it shouldn't be down too tight. It looks like someone had, probably from factory, put the Loctite on. Do a little bit more by hand here. Probably all right. I think there was a couple of threads showing, and that very first Loctite thread was showing when we took it off. So that should conclude the job. Just going to get cleaned up here, take her out for a little test drive. All right, the car seems happy with the new gear oil back there. Should be good for another 100,000. That'll be it for today. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.